Good that you're watching to the video on demand of the weekly Monday stream, where we discuss the latest gaming news and just catch up together. I have to be honest though, it's kind of hard to do this stream properly with all the topics that we want to do and then release that on the direct channel or react channel, because we're still so deep into Shadows and there's just so much to cover still, and that's kind of where the focus is now. So, hello everyone. Thanks for joining. Joseph, Saber Knight, Brock, Severus, of course, Zephyrus. I always butcher that name, but thanks for joining. So yeah, that's kind of the thing where I want to do some proper topics, but I also don't really have the time to properly prepare them. And the time change is weird. Yeah. The time change is weird. We just had daylight savings this weekend. Hey, Amalni, Red Hood fan, good to see you too. I hope we're not Amalhi. I probably butchered that too. How's everyone been doing? Rolf, good to see you. I just experienced how OP you can be when it's raining last night in Shadows. What happened for Smokin'? Dragonborn. Good. Yes. Yeah, I've been testing some other like fun stuff as well in the game that we will discuss this week. No, it wasn't that bad. It was right. It was. I get it. But yeah, what I was basically saying is that we of course started doing this stream and doing all the topics before we had like a big game that we can make a lot of content on, and yeah. So obviously the streams will be back more in their prime, like they used to, in a way, like with more topics and stuff. But I don't even know if I'm gonna do a topic. I don't even know if I'm gonna stream for that long, to be honest. But it's good to see everyone, and I want to keep it going instead in terms of we're live every week. Although again, the time is weird. I know we had 1 hour less sleep this weekend because the time jumped from 2 a.m. to 3. But of course, people in the US had this already. Yeah, Brock, you're right. It gets hard to not just focus on Shadows, but also try and So it still works for the Sunday video because we kind of got that down. But for these videos, and the topics we discuss here, I want to go more in depth, and they kind of deserve way more attention in that regard too. So. Yeah, that is kind of the thing. But we've been kind of testing some things in the game.
I should be cautious.
Yeah, that's for a future video. So again, like that already requires a lot of like attention. Weekly reset will now be at 4 and not 3 p.m. Yeah. So it will just be 4 now for the foreseeable future. Which actually, I guess, nice. I don't know. More people in the US will be awake, which is nice. They don't hear and see you at all. Damn, that's crazy. Yeah, someone in the Discord also shared a kind of trick with one of the Helix items. I still want to like go more in depth on these outfits as well. Feels like there's less hype around the Helix items overall, but correct me if I'm wrong. Concerned Citizen, thanks for your super chat, appreciate you. What's the obsession with the Switch 2? What's the obsession with the Switch 2? There are 0 games for it. Dragon Ball, Kakarot has better graphics than Pokemon. CA. And Brock, by the way, you don't have to mute people saying woke slop. Like, let them be miserable. Let them go to chats like this to say that. Um, what's the obsession with the Switch 2? Well, it's like Nintendo has a very unique style of game. It's really based on fun. Graphics don't really matter for their games. They really have like the best sort of gameplay first experiences for many people. To be fair, I mostly like the sort of new things they try. I do like myself some Mario and stuff, but I'm not like craving that. And the reason Zelda games were just not for me. So overall, but again, they are compared to other companies just always trying to innovate in some way. And that is just what people really, really like. Of course, the fact that you can basically take that game anywhere. It's less of a new thing now that we have the Steam Deck and the other PC handhelds. But why the Switch works is because it has games that you can't find anywhere else. Like Mario Kart is timeless, and all their other properties. And people are excited because always near the end of the life cycle of a console, like for the Switch 1, they have been like releasing all the B titles, right? And now with the Switch 2, at least that was the tactic for the Switch 1. They were releasing like their best games in the first year to get people to jump from, the Wii U to the Switch. Just to get people on board. And I do think we will probably see that for the Switch 2 as well. And people are excited for that. They want to see what all those, tier 1 teams at Nintendo are working on. And we already know a new Mario Kart is coming. Every time a new console releases, they have some sort of gimmick. And there are now a lot of like rumors. There's a C button. It seems that you can maybe connect your old Switch to the new one and have that sort of dual screen experience again. So, we should be happy that Nintendo is doing what they are doing. Because without Nintendo, the Xbox and PlayStation are basically the same machine. And yeah, and PC is kind of similar in that vein as well. Like, thanks to Nintendo, gaming is way broader. There are way more people like from all age groups playing. It's the perfect family machine. So, hey, I get it. People are excited for that. New Nintendo hardware is going to be very, very interesting and exciting. And also for the gaming industry because, hey, it means that, what are the masterminds behind the Switch? Like, they kind of started that handheld hybrid. What are they coming up with now, right? That we will then see other people emulate later in the years. One of the things they are doing that I predict we will see from other companies too, they now have the Nintendo Now app. I'm not sure if you're aware of this. I saw that. I've not installed it yet. But that is basically an app. And it's basically their Twitter without it being run by Elon Musk. So they are basically saying, yo, if you want all the new info on the Switch, we're only going to post it here. So you have to download this app, and then in the app they will say new trailer for this game, or I don't know. I think they announced some things already in that app. I've not downloaded it yet, but I really think that what we're seeing now with Twitter, like you're building this huge following on Twitter, and then suddenly it gets sold to Elon Musk, and he completely changes the platform. As a company, you can't really rely on that because that's so unpredictable. While your own app, if you give exclusive info on that app, again, I think PlayStation will likely do this too. Maybe they will wait for the PS6, or maybe they will say, yo, we're gonna do this app as well, PlayStation Now. They might not call it PlayStation Now, but who knows? Of course, we already had a PlayStation Now. And then, if you want to get the first info on Ghost of Yotei or the first gameplay, you can only see it in the app. People will download it. So maybe that's the way forward for a lot of people. The in-game perks are so much better now, Mark. I agree. We're talking about shadows there, of course. The Doom the Dark Age hands-on previews look insane. Yeah, I know, right? I already predicted a while back that oh, that's not the one that I wanted to talk. Let's see. That this is gonna be another Game of the Year contender, because I really think with them going for a more open approach that it will help create a lot of these like mysterious. It will probably have a lot of like Elden Ring-esque moments for people. That's kind of my prediction. Where, oh, did you go there in that cave? And then whoa, got this insane unlock. Like, I'm really curious if it will have that. It's at least speaking more to me in that way. I did love 2016 and Eternal as well, but yeah, this looks wild as well, of course. So yeah, I totally predict that this will be a potential Game of the Year nomination, which is crazy in a year like this, because yeah, there are a ton of great games, and the best, like, many have not even released yet. Music Art Realm is saying, where's Crimson Desert? Late 2025. I can't wait for that either. They had some new footage at GDC, right? I think. But yeah, that's gonna be great. Cyrus the Virus subscribes to you, my man. Thanks a lot for that. What are your thoughts for the upcoming game, Expedition 33? I'm looking forward to it. I mean, that of course looks insane too. I really hope that they let's see. I really hope they stick the landing, because they got a lot of like great press for it. This is another IGN video. It looks, of course, insane. And of course, normally turn-based games, people are like, I'm not so sure. But I think the story overall is just very cool. You have that tower that you just saw with 33, and every year the number goes down. And then all the people that... Is she now gonna disappear? Like, all the people that are that age or older will disappear. So basically every year, 2 generation or like 2 age groups will disappear. So that's pretty cool. And I'm just afraid that it will be a very long game, but I think they already said it's like not that long, right? Yeah, I'm looking forward to it too. It's on Game Pass for if you're on Xbox or PC. So that's pretty big. But yeah. They have a crazy voice acting cast. Yeah, that's right. Well, so that's true. What was your hardest trophy on Shadows? The most spent getting it? It's totally the one. Like, I still don't have the platinum yet. As always, like, I have a lot of hours into the game, more than 100 now. But yeah, the trophies in this game are really interesting. It's a very easy platinum if you just focus on them. But I always like to save that for a future stream. So we're gonna do that during a stream. But I think the hardest are totally the legendary Sumi-E creatures, because you have to do them every season. So if you like do them as the last trophy, then yeah, you will be just waiting around a long time to get to every season. Hey Skata, good to see you. Does the C button turns on the screen so that we can see it? Yeah, that's a key no one's got. That's a good question regarding the Switch too. We don't really know what the C button does, but again, I think that's what's exciting about Nintendo. They, even though it is a Switch 2, it's mostly an iteration. They are seemingly doing some new things and maybe bringing back the DS and Wii U game style, which I did like. I liked it in particular on the DS because it was really in front of you. So I'm not sure for the Wii U, like looking down was not really nice. But I liked it, for example, for Mario Maker, being able to just draw on the screen and then seeing it on the big screen in front of you. That works really, really well. So we will have to wait and see. I'm joking, Laura. He didn't get it. Oh no, Kingdom Sky. I don't know what you meant. Just a subscription, Jordan. But here's a German YouTuber called Roman. Just a suggestion, Jordan, but there's a German YouTuber called Roman, and he does English versions of videos, but also German of the same video. Could you do English and Dutch versions, please? You mean of his videos? Or you mean German and Dutch versions? I mean, I think, like, people in the Netherlands can talk English. That's easy. So, yeah, that doesn't make sense. But making German... Sure. It just takes... It's way more effort than simply re-recording it. But I do think there will be a future if AI really, really improves, where you can just have a channel, because I do think you need to have a separate channel with basically all the same videos. That you basically make a video in English, you put it in a tool, and they like upload it, and they like change the voice to German, to all the other languages, and then post them on the other platforms. I can see a future for that. There are already companies that are doing that, but it's always way more work than you think. Because what if an explanation in German takes 1 minute 10 seconds, and that same explanation takes 1 minute in English? Okay, so then you have, for those final 10 seconds, like black screen in the German version. See, because yeah, it's the same footage. So you cannot like extend that footage if you don't have the original source. So again, it's way harder than you think, but Arkham Knight says, are you gonna play Lost Soul Aside or Doom when it comes out? Lost Soul Aside still has not really grabbed me, to be honest. I think it looks cool, but to be fair, I felt the same. I felt the same about Stellar Blade kind of pre-launch, but that turned out to be one of my favorite games of the year, last year. But I don't know, Stellar Blade did have more of that, like, oomph, more of that, like, AAA value or something, I don't know. This does kind of look cool. I think it depends on reviews. Maybe we do get a copy code for it, but again, like I said at the start of the stream, I'm already struggling to keep up with all the Shadows content that we still want to make. So I prefer to just be kind of in that game for now. So yeah, I'm not sure if I will jump to another game soon. But Doom for sure, I will totally play that. But I also want to play Indiana Jones and Expedition 33. I would play Expedition 33 over Lost Soul Aside, even though Lost Soul Aside is around that same time, right? There are just too many games coming out. Lost Soul Aside is May 30th. Okay, so it's a month later. Okay. So it would be after Doom then. Again, they need to convince me more with this game. Sura is asking, are there any more legendary mounts other than the Namazu mount that you can find in the map? I mean, you would hope so, because it's not like a legendary chest, even though it contains a legendary item. So I hope there are more of these hidden chests that are actually hidden, because the legendary chest, you can just go to the Helix shop, you can even spend the 300 Helix credits that you got for free from Ubisoft on a map upgrade to get all the legendary chests. That's probably the best value for 300 Helix credits. But it's cool that there are these real secrets as well. If you don't know what I'm talking about, of course, check the main channel, check the short, or on JorRaptor. I made a video on the mount real quick as well. Excited for Mafia: The Old Country in the summer? Dude, I've said it multiple times, man. The summer is insane. It's not gonna be fun. I think the April and May is already pretty crowded, but it's like the summer, man. It's gonna be insane. But there are also let's look at some things that we have. Games 2025. GameSpot doesn't have all of them, so I'm going to another. Okay, we're going to go to Polygon. Papaligulu. Okay. Let's scroll down. We're in March. Okay, April. So we're in this week. South of Midnight is the first, like, big one. I don't even know half of these games. Claire, Expedition 33. Again, we have Indiana Jones is not even on here, but that's like April 19th. Days Gone Remastered, Forza for PS5. Doom, Dune, Lost Soul Aside, Elden Ring, Night Rain, completely forgot about that. Onimusha 2 is already launching on May 23rd. Oh, that's the remake. Of course, the new one is next year. So this already looks kind of crazy. And again, not even everything has been announced yet. It's not even up to date. Death Stranding 2 in June. But it's especially this. I think this is going to be crazy. So we have Metal Gear Solid Delta. Shinobi, that's the side-scroller from Sega. Let's get him a bit like this. Hell is Us. Borderlands. But these only have dates. So if we go down here. Okay, here. Summer, if you do summer. Dying Light, still releasing either end of August or September. FBC Firebreak, either August or September. RoboCop getting some DLC. Wheel World. Again, there are way more games that are not even on this list. Because so far I'm like, but it's like way crazier. Hell is Us, yeah, I'm looking forward to that too. But again, this summer is like 2020, yeah. And then like Ghost of Yotei, when is that coming out? Again, there's so much stuff. The Lies of P DLC. Mafia: The Old Country, we touched on that. It's gonna be crazy. Hey Yuppie, good to see you. South of Midnight pretty soon as well, yes, for smoking. Love that name. I still remember that secret bow people found in Valhalla. Oh, Kenny, that was amazing. That was really, really amazing. That is one of my favorite secrets in the game, period. For people who don't know, you had to know this arc like an Isu bow in Odyssey or in Valhalla. You had to hit a rock during sunrise with the Excalibur. And then blip. We still have the Nintendo Switch 2 games. Yeah, again, Joseph, like, Nintendo Switch is gonna have probably a big game every other month or every month. Delta at the end of summer, can't wait for that game, yeah. So people are really gonna have to pick and choose, and I don't know what that means. I'm kind of scared that means that maybe none of the games do super well. I don't know. Bet Yotei will be great too. Oh, for sure. Assassin's Creed Shadows is awesome. I'm enjoying it a lot. Mastered in. Nice. I mean, I think overall everyone is like happy with it, right? It seems to be either, oh, it's totally what I expected, or it's even exceeding some people's expectations. Vanquisher, thank for the Prime sub. Appreciate you. I'm waiting on the Switch too. I'm debating it. So I rarely use, okay, this is for people. I got it like here. I even have this, the Splatoon 2 controller. This must be the worst feeling controller ever, man. These triggers are not even like, it's not great. It's not great. It's not great. But yeah, I could not play with the Joy-Cons, man. Could not do it. Packed Game Year, yes, for sure. And then we also, I mean, we will probably be playing a lot of the Fall or the Shadows content they're dropping. They're gonna be dropping DLCs maybe in the summer too. I think Claws of Awaji, the first DLC, is probably, I'm guessing May. I'm feeling May. But yeah, I might be wrong. And then yeah, later on we got even more. Like it's wild. It's wild. Now Joyce, you're not needed today. I see you with the ice chat. Did you play the Zelda games on Switch? I tried them. For me, it's just the weapon durability system. I don't like that. I don't like that. The stamina system, I hate that too. I'm climbing. Yeah, I'm reaching it. No, I don't. Oh. And then you fall down and you're like, oh my god, I have to do that all over again, or find a different angle or a spot higher up. I don't know. I need more of a narrative. I need more of a way that I can. I need to. For me, and this is like might sound crazy to people. I always in Zelda games miss an XP system because I really want to know that if I play now for 2 hours, I at the end of this session will have become that my character will have grown in some way. And in Zelda, that's not possible. Like, you can find a weapon and then it breaks, and then you're 2 hours later, you're at the same point, or maybe even, before the point you were 2 hours ago, if that makes sense. And that's just a me problem, I think. I know the games are amazing, but the combat also is kind of meh. So, I totally get why people love those games, and the open world is very exciting. Like, the fact that you can get a ton of, like, the Hyrule Shield, like in Tears of the Kingdom very early, if you know where to look. That's awesome. I love that kind of stuff, but, yeah, I don't know. Skill issue, probably. Yeah, Joyce, please go back into the shadows. You can have more hearts, that makes the game easier. Yeah, I know. Still. Pancho is saying, your loved Shadows just completed it today with the Platinum. Well, congrats to you. Any update on the DLC date? Did you check the most recent video we did over the weekend? Check that out. That's the latest sort of update we got on DLC and stuff. So check that out. Cleo is asking, hey, have Joyce and Dennis been okay? Haven't been in any of the videos recently. Well, I will tell you that they have been working very hard behind the scenes to make all the content that we have put out possible. So Dennis, a lot of the... I'm gonna like give you a little like tidbit, but whenever you see someone lock on to a target, that's Dennis playing. That's not me. I never lock on to targets in Assassin's Creed. So if you see that, you know, okay, that's footage captured by Dennis. So he captured all the top 5 footage for the weapons, the early armor footage he did. So yeah, we kind of make sure that everyone is focused on different types of videos. So because we do a lot of research in these videos. So it's really hard to, with the amount of research and then the editing and the voiceover and the script, it's hard to get that done in one day. So we kind of work. So Dennis has been working on a video that will then be happening the next day. And then, yeah, we want to like release something every day, which is still kind of hard, even with the amount of people we have working on it. But no, they are still there. They're doing a lot. You will hear Dennis again this week. So, but yeah, for the Assassin's Creed content, I kind of want to take over the audio. So that's kind of why we've been doing it like that. Top 5 armor videos soon. Yeah. I want to do that this week. But we have another fun video before that. AC Shadows had a few minutes quiz, and it had upcoming weeks, not months, but weeks in it. Completed the quiz like 5 days ago or so. Yeah, they've been like teasing a lot. They've been saying, in the coming months, we're gonna launch modern day content. In the coming weeks, the game will be different than it is now. Or the coming months. So, my prediction is next week we get the first update. The first, with hopefully some quality of life fixes. And I think that will probably kick off the things that they have planned. I really hope that that's true. I always lock on, yeah. I mean, I don't like it in those games. I don't know. I just play Shadows and watch his live. Well, that sounds like a great time. Fiji Fair. Also, Shadows' facial animation and dialogue is awful, says Kenny. I mean, I've said it during the chat we had with Fragnard as well. I think the facial animations are actually not, like, for me, they don't take me out of the experience. With Outlaws, they did. I think the Outlaws' facial animations are way worse. But I think Shadows it was certainly better than the previews. And of course, the motion capture scenes that are way more present in this game are pretty good. But yeah, the dialogue, the writing, that's just something. It will not get to the level like Odyssey was very sharp. Origins was really, really well done too. It after that just did not reach those levels anymore. And I don't know. I think a lot of those people left Ubisoft that were kind of like spearheading that. So I hope they can, get some great writers back on the franchise. We know for Hexay, of course, that Darby, who wrote like a lot of the Assassin's Creed games, is involved with that. So that gives me a bit more hope. But yeah. The New Game Plus will be awesome. Oh yeah, for sure. But yeah, I don't think that will be happening soon. When do you think Assassin's Creed Shadows is going to add more armor packs? I think this week, Goonie. So check out the first day stream we will do. Because when the timer in the exchange hits 0, then I think they will launch a new Helix pack. Do we already know what kind of game Hexay is going to be? It seems to be way more focused on the mythology side. So we are probably gonna play it seems to be during the witch hunts in Germany. And because Hexay is witch in German. And maybe we are being hunted because people think we are a witch. And it seems like we can actually use some powers. Like kind of like Dishonored moves where you turn into an animal like a cat. And then distract enemies and go past them that way. That at least were the early rumors. We will have to wait and see, of course, how it shakes out. I'm 5 hours into Shadows and haven't spent a single point. Well, that's fine. 5 hours is not that long. Why can't we ever get Origins level story? Yeah, again, I think the narrative people have just either left or just other people in charge. Them, hope everyone has a wonderful Monday and week. Yeah, I hope the same for everyone here too. It's pretty nice weather outside. And again, it's going to be a fun week. Subyor, just wondering, will AC Mirage be getting added? Or will it... will get anything added? Or will it be as it is? We had rumors about a Mirage DLC. But yeah, it was kind of like from a weird source. It was from a newspaper in France. So we will have to wait and see if that will actually happen. I look at Hexay as a DLC. No. Because it's going to be very linear. Rolf, I don't think you should. It's going to have the same budget as the Shadows, but a smaller game. So I do think that means the production value per hour is going to be way higher. That's exciting to me. We will have to wait and see. But they want, and I think that's good, because while Shadows does a lot of great things, it still follows the Origins formula that we saw in Odyssey and Valhalla as well. So I'm excited to see what else they got. What other ideas they have for the franchise to start a new type of game. And then probably in 5 years' time, we will have the people who like the old games, the RPG games, and the people who like the Hexay thing. Origin side quests were not great, but the main was alright. I think the side quests, I like the Odyssey side quests more because of the dialogue options. You were way more engaged. But I think Origins had some pretty nice, fun side quests as well. But yeah, it was not like the biggest strength of the game. Some were pretty cool though. Sometimes a side mission suddenly had like a really cool cutscene. You were like, what the heck? But yeah, I think mostly the main story in that game is just really good. I think... And obviously, they with Valhalla, Mirage, and now Shadows have this sort of target that you go after these targets. Or in Valhalla, you had, okay, now we're going to this zone, now we're going to this zone, and Mirage kind of had their main missions in that order too, where sure you would go after a target, but it would always be in a different district of Baghdad. And in Shadows, of course, as well, every target is in a different part of the world. Origins worked really well because the main narrative just really felt connected and together. And I really think the same team worked on it. while they feel the need in Shadows, Mirage, and Valhalla to have a lot of like kind of a big main story chunk in the middle where you start really strong with the intro and the backstory for these characters, Act 1, and then Act 2, it's suddenly this, okay, the game opens up, and you really notice that, okay, this story arc was made by this studio, and it's all kind of different. While in Origins, it really felt like a nice like red line through the game, which I think helped. I hope they're not afraid to delay again if they need it. No, I get it. I think they totally saw that this works out, but it should now be for them interested and like important to make sure they have this quality as Shadows, but launch it during the holiday season. Of course, easier said than done, but I do think, and it's gonna be very interesting. Like Shadows is selling, the first week has been great. But will it continue? Will we see that sort of... because Odyssey had like a slower first week. But then, during Black Friday, it got like a small discount. And people bought the game during Christmas. So it had multiple peak moments directly after launch. For Shadows, it won't have that. Unless they can like try the DLCs or something. But it's not the same. So... I'm kind of afraid that it will die down more than the previous games, and then maybe during the holiday season, when they like sell it for a lower price and launch maybe a Cassandra DLC or the co-op mode, it will get more attention. But yeah, I'm curious if they can keep the momentum up with Shadows. Oh yeah, the legendary loot quests were fun. Yeah, for sure. Hey, 52 nights. No worries, no worries. Oh my god, that is what Hexay means, which I'm from New England. And I'm blinded by my knowledge of the world events. I had no idea there was a witch hunt in Germany. Yeah, it's gonna be a very cool setting. Like, I think overall, Assassin's Creed excels for me. I love the Japanese setting they do. But I think I prefer it because also before Valhalla, I was like, Viking era, not that interesting. But then I got like way more invested thanks to Valhalla, and it was like, okay, this is actually pretty interesting. And of course, the Viking TV show was really good too. And Greece, kind of the same. Like, I knew, okay, ancient Greece, that's an awesome setting, but going there during... It was like a very unique experience in that way. For we had feudal Japan games before. We had games, a lot of them actually in the recent years. Origins also very unique, and of course previous games too. So I'm excited for Hexay to explore a more or a less common setting that we see in games. So I think that's already going to be very exciting. Yeah, Yappy, it's supposed to release in 2026. New news from Sucker Punch. Soon, do you think? I really think they want to focus right now on Death Stranding 2 and Lost Soul aside. But I think my prediction for Ghost of Yotei is they're saving any of the marketing for the State of Play or the PlayStation Showcase at the end of May. Then they will do a big blowout, the first gameplay reveal, and then have the release date at the end. Yeah, and then like have a big like that show is gonna be huge. I think it's gonna be very exciting. Do you think they should have shorter marketing periods for future AC games? I don't know. Like for Shadows, it was like very long because of the delays. But I think like announcing it in May and launching it in October is fine. So they will probably continue that, or like announce it at the end of May and launch it in November. I think that's fine. But yeah, Sony is like they are going for 3-month periods, and that's kind of where all the games are moving towards. And I think that's great because again, we talked about the many games that are coming out. In these coming months, people are focused on that. They want to see like that's what you see with a lot of these games, and also with content about the games. You can make like a really good preview video 6 months before launch, but if you made that same video and put it out 3 weeks before launch, way more people will care because they're like, oh wow, it's actually touchable, like it's actually in my reach, it's 3 weeks away. Now I'm getting excited for the game. Because in between those moments, like, Last of Us TV show is coming, so it's not even games. Like, there's just so much happening at this moment that a lot of people, like we are, like very inside the gaming world, of course, but a lot of people are not. So I think for Ghost of Yotei, if they drop the trailer and are like, yo, in 2 months the game is out, and and then they have like every week a new trailer or a state of play dedicated to it, or another thing, that will keep the momentum going. I think that's way smarter than saying something now and then disappearing again for a few months. That's sadly how it has been going. They announced it at the 2023 Ubisoft Direct. Yeah, they had the Assassin's Creed Showcase, of course, but that was like more a, yo, we're doing this whole future of Assassin's Creed thing. That was like a unique thing. Maybe they will do it again with the Tencent. If the Tencent deal closes, they will do that for all their games. But that is kind of... I mean, they had the most boring trailer. It was just the logo reveal. It was not like a real trailer. I don't... Hexay for me has not been revealed yet, if that makes sense. Yeah, the real Ninja Bros Switch 2. Yes, it's happening. Maybe Shadows comes to Switch 2. I can see that happen. For Ubisoft Gaming, at a great launch for sure. Vampire. I think it's a great start for Shadows, at least for the PC, because they returned to Steam after 8 years. No. I think Breakpoint was still on... No, Breakpoint launched later on Steam. I think Odyssey was the last big game they had on Steam. So that is 5 years. Odyssey 2018? 2? No, 7 years. Damn. Man, time flies. Was Odyssey 7 years ago? Yeah. Oh my god. 6.5. Will Yotei sell better than Shadows? Maybe initially, but I think in the long run Shadows will sell better. Because it's on more platforms. But yeah, Ghost of Yotei is going to sell super well too. The game launched last year on PC, Ghost of Tsushima, and it was the best-selling game in the US the month it came out, which was like 4 years after launch, which is crazy. They moved to Epic since The Division 2. Oh, nice. Yeah, that was early 2019. So yeah, Odyssey was again the last one. On Epic, because I worked on it at the time. Nice. Yeah, good to see they are back. Good to see they are back. I do think it hurt them. I do think Shadows would have been bigger if they never left Steam. People just... So, yeah, either people just have now all their Ubisoft games on Ubisoft Connect or on Epic. But yeah, I do think, especially with how open the Steam numbers are, I'm curious if that really impacts the word of mouth. Where it's like, oh, the Steam numbers are not that high. It's not that popular. I'm not gonna get it or something. Maybe I'm too into the weeds, but people do revert to those numbers because they are the most open. Like it's like an easy way to see it. But yeah, the game did way better than Dragon Age: The Veilguard, but Dragon Age: The Veilguard has a way higher Steam concurrent. So yeah, it doesn't say a lot, but it is like seeing 1 million players concurrent on Monster Hunter Wilds. Yeah, then you know this game is huge. And it did 10 million units in 1 month, which is crazy. Wonder what the Valhalla team is up to now. Well, Kenny, they are doing Hexay. Surprise, surprise. With the Ubisoft shake-up, I hope they polish the polished taste that Origins Shadows has. Yeah, damn. Again, I really think, and of course we have to wait and see, but because they have... I mean, a lot of people are like, oh, 10 Assassin's Creed games in 5 years, that's a lot. I agree. It sounds like a lot. And yeah, sure, on paper it is. But it's a lot of like smaller games as well. And why like Unity had to come out in the holiday season, or why it was the only big game they had. And the moment they would delay Unity, it would then be like 9 months before Syndicate came out. So there was no wiggle room for these games previously. And with Shadows, they now could delay it because the Black Flag remake is rumored for the end of the year. Like that is so different, and I do think they will still do well. But if they had another RPG, like if Origins and Odyssey had those 1 year apart. If Origins got delayed because it needed the extra polish, you would be like 9 months before Odyssey, so then they had to push that too. Right now, because they are doing a lot of different Assassin's Creed games, like the next RPG is like 4 years away. I do think a big team inside Quebec is gonna be like, maybe they are already concepting, prototyping. Although from the people we've been talking to, like the Jonathan Dumont, the creative director, and Simon, the associate director, game director, seems like they're really hands-on with the post-launch, more than I remember some of the previous times where I would interview the developers and they were like, I'm not sure what's happening with the post-launch. I'm already on the next game. They would not really say that, but it was basically... And then you saw their LinkedIn later on where it was like, hey, I started working on Immortals 2 months before Odyssey released. So they had no idea what like they were not really fully engaged with that. Seems to be different for Shadows though, which for one makes me hopeful for that post-launch. But also means that the next RPG will likely be a while, because it will be Quebec making it instead of Montreal. But yeah, that does mean that, okay, we need more time for Hexe. Doesn't matter. We have the modern day story going up for Shadows. Okay, we have maybe this expansion that's further along than we thought. Let's put that here. So they have way more space. So I do hope and I do think that if Hexe needs more time, they're going to give it. Although a lot of people are already saying, because Shadows got delayed, everything got moved. And I don't believe that. I do think they still want a new game at the end of the year. That's the goal. And they will make sure everything... I would be shocked if Hexe gets delayed out of the end of 2026. Because they had 2 years to focus on getting that same polish. To be fair though, I thought they would hit the Avatar game around the movie too, even though the movie got multiple times delayed. Still, it launched 1 year later, so everything can happen, of course. But we will see. No, they've not released a roadmap for Shadows yet. We're kind of waiting on that. But I'm getting, by the way, attacked by the... It's always this time of the day. Maybe we can do it. So this better. Oh no! Ah! Hey Melissa, good to see you as always. Ghost of Yote, everyone wanted Jin's story, not what we're getting. I mean, never say never. They might do flashbacks. I can see that. Loving Shadows is really good. Hey Henry. Hey Henry, that's good to hear. Yeah, we don't know to what degree the Black Flag remake is. I mean, that's the thing. Like, it's kind of wild. They've been talking about remakes for a long time at Ubisoft, but we never had one. They wanted to do the Prince of Persia Sands of Time remake, but that was more a remaster. Although they did try and do a lot of new things. They moved to the Origins engine and stuff. But yeah, it was a not experienced team working on that. So they brought it inside Montreal and are spending more resources on it. If they're going to see it through, though, with the new shake-up. We will have to wait and see. But, yeah, interesting stuff. I trust in Sucker Punch if they change the location and protagonist. Look, I think... and I think all... maybe not all. I said it before, but I think them changing protagonists is very smart. Because these games, and that's what with Assassin's Creed is as well. Like, if you miss the previous Assassin's Creed game, doesn't matter, you can always pick up the next one. And that's why people are like, oh, I want them to bring back the trilogy. And you're like, what are you asking for? Because you're basically asking them to work on the same game, the same setting, the same character for 10 years. Because it now takes 5 years or 4 years to make these games. So then, like, that's where there are like a couple of games now that started with this trilogy idea. Jedi Fallen Order, Horizon, God of War. I mean, they're of course I mean, God of War even wanted to do a Norse trilogy, but they made it like 2 games because otherwise we would not have a satisfying ending in Ragnarok probably. And when was the next game gonna come out to conclude it? Probably 2028. So that's not exciting at all. And I think it's because Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is like remake is another example. It's just not possible with the amount of development time and time in between those games, because a new generation of PlayStation users will be joining the system by the time the third game for Final Fantasy or Jedi or whatever comes out. And it's so hard, I think, for those people to jump into the third game, especially for Final Fantasy and for Horizon as well. Like, Zero Dawn was very popular. Forbidden West did not hit the same number. So if you're gonna continue the story of Forbidden West, you're basically already saying that all the people that did not jump from Zero Dawn to Forbidden West, they're probably never gonna pick up an Horizon game again unless you do something new. So that's why I really think it's smart for Sucker Punch to, for one, go to a different time period so they can add way more weapons that were available there. And yeah, they can still do stuff with Jin, and they can really make this series way bigger than just being about Jin, because hey, it's now just Ghost. And maybe they take it to a completely different setting in the future. They can really go Assassin's Creed style as well, in that regard. And people who did not play Ghost of Tsushima, well, for whatever reason, because that game came out 5 years ago, they can still jump into Ghost of Yotei and have a good time. So we will see. Time to Kill of Aloy, yeah. As a huge fan of Horizon, I do agree. I really think that, yeah, Horizon 3 is in the tough spot. I think it's going to be exciting, but yeah. But that's why they are doing the online game. That's going to be for a different audience. Yor, do you think Quebec might already be working on the 3 AC settings, including India, Aztec Empire, and Mediterranean? Otex, that's what Sophia seems to be working on. The team that did Dawn of Ragnarok most recently, and the Curse of the Pharaohs DLC, and they also worked on the mainline games. So they seemingly got like a bigger role, although with the Animus Hub, and we still have not really seen that. Right now the Animus Hub is just a glorified Reda system, but in the future I really hope Nebula is an RPG, but like way smaller. And I can see them, and we will have to wait and see, launch with just one setting, and then they say, yo, in 3 months we have the new setting, in 3 months we have the other setting. So they kind of do it episodic or something. Maybe that works. Like, they can experiment way more, and then, okay, Hexe needs more time, sure. Bring Nebula forward, we have the first setting done, release that. All easier said than done, but I do think they can like kind of toy around with that. What they want is new Assassin's Creed content at a regular pace, and they can do that in many, many different ways. So we will have to wait and see, but I don't think Quebec will be working on that. I really think, and that's like their big fault, I think, for having a long time between Valhalla and Shadows. 4 years is a really long time. I think but yeah, it's gonna be 4 years for the next RPG, but I would be shocked if it's longer. So I really think, it would be smart for them to immediately have the bulk of the Shadows team, or like a smaller team, of course, at the concepting phase, already thinking of the next setting. They're not gonna do Japan again. They're like, no more. Okay, what is a setting that we can do without a lot of controversies, please? And start working on the next RPG. Because, yeah, I don't want to wait another 4 years. Or 5 years. Longer. We will have to wait and see. Because they want to do a new mainline title every 2 years. So 2026 should be Hexe. 2028 should be another mainline game. If you then don't do the RPG, that means that we have to wait 6 years for another RPG. And I think really, the Shadows launch once again showed it's the second biggest Assassin's Creed launch. The one that is higher only is Valhalla, the other RPG. So I think it's really in their best interest to have another RPG in 4 years, but we will see. We will see. The Final Fantasy 13 trilogy is really good, Jordan. I know, Ethan, or at least I heard people say it, but that's a great example. The first game sold very well. The second game, the third game, nobody cared about that. So trilogies just don't work anymore. And right now with DLC, like people say, oh, I want the Bayek trilogy. You already had the Hidden Ones DLC and the Curse of the Pharaohs. I spent more time with Bayek than with Ezio in those 3 games. So you already had the trilogy. But hey, that is just me. Father, Son, The Last of Us Part 3. I think it will happen. I totally think it will happen. Because of the HBO show. That makes so much sense. I mean, Neil is like so involved now with HBO show. And new threats and stuff. I really think he has a great idea for the third game. But yeah, I'm kind of curious how they're gonna plan that out. Because if Intergalactic's 2027, and then they start working on part 3, then we get that game in 2030 at the earliest or later. That's crazy. I think the India game will the next big RPG game. That's not possible, OTG. Like, because Quebec is gonna be the RPG studio, so I think it's gonna be very small, that game. But hey, do you think people are interested in Shadows? Are your videos doing well as you expected? Flowripes, I mean, it is kind of hard because, of course, the channel is way bigger than it was when Odyssey came out. But Valhalla was way bigger. My biggest surprise is, and that's why I'm really happy with the community that we have. You guys showed up for all these Shadows content and are still showing up, and that's so cool to see. But I see for other people that never really cover Assassin's Creed and just move on to the next big thing, they did not really have a lot of like success with the game. While with Valhalla, everyone was like ranking in views. Like, so I really think that even though they are saying Shadows is the second biggest launch, it's still, I think, 1/3 of Valhalla. Like, it really feels like the gap between Shadows and Valhalla is huge. But on the other hand, TikTok, Shorts, Reels, like, those things did not really exist during the previous Assassin's Creed launch. The big one, like Valhalla. So yeah, more people were watching main videos. But again, I like, the videos are doing well. They're not doing insane like Valhalla, but they are doing really well. And what always happens with these games is that if you look back after 5 months, they suddenly have like way more views. Like, they just do well in the background. So it's totally like noticeable that it's not far from the hype from Valhalla. But also, Odyssey was 2018. That was just a different time. And I just don't remember how the videos did back then. But I do think that it's doing, the content is doing better now than back then. I'm having more fun with Shadows than I did with Valhalla. Me too. Well, I still remember your YouTube videos about how every outfit looks and where to find them. Since then, I'm sold onto your videos about the RPG games. Nice. Yeah, that's kind of course, the videos we like to make and helping people like that. More videos. Again, that's where what I said. Like, normally we do kind of topics during these streams. Well, I'm still getting attacked by the... it's really bad. But yeah, there's so much content that we still want to make. So I also gonna end the stream earlier than normal. We're gonna go for an hour today. But that's been a lot of fun, and it's easy to kind of talk with everyone, which has been nice. So yeah, usually we kind of do the topics in between. I still want to do them, but again, we just don't have, we have less time now because I'm already working on the next Assassin's Creed video. We got so many cool videos in the pipeline. I want to make some shorts and TikToks. There's just not a lot of time in the day. If I also want to leave the house, that is. But we, of course, want to keep doing these streams every Monday because it's so fun to check with you and talk about the gaming news and all the other stuff. So make sure you put it in your calendar because every Monday, an hour ago, that's when we start. So yeah, with daylight savings, we finally have it here in Europe now too. So it's this time. Wednesday, I will be talking with Fragnard about Assassin's Creed. I think it's time to look at our predictions, which should be fun. And of course, on Thursday, we're gonna look at the weekly reset. I'm expecting a new Helix set this week, and then next week, hopefully, the update. But we'll, of course, keep you posting. Thanks, everyone, for joining, and have a great rest of the week.